What is up, guys? So this is the second DDD deck profile here, and if you guys already seen the title, this is known as Turn 2 DDDs. Yes, this deck actually focuses on going on the second turn. So if you lose the dice roll and your opponent actually wants to go first, then by all means you're actually on the beneficial side here. But overall, this deck can still operate on a first turn basis as well. But basically, it's a slightly less consistent version of the first deck profile, but it provides more options in the sense that you can actually go into turn 2. So without further ado, let's actually just get started with this deck profile. So starting off with monsters, not too many changes here. We are playing 3 copies of Swell Slime. I reduced the copy of Necro Slime to 2 now, but of course that's to fit in some actual different cards here, so you'll see them later on. 3 copies of Lamia, of course, still great card, and 3 copies of Kepler, our main searcher. We're also playing 2 copies of Thomas. Haven't increased this at all, and we're still playing 3 copies of Ragnarok. So far, everything's looking pretty similar to you guys. 2 copies of Copernicus and 1 copy of Orthoros. But this time, we are only playing 1 copy of Vice Typhon as well. So overall, we have the option of Vice Typhon with Necro Slime in conjunction with each other. So I think it's a nice ratio there. Alright, so to end things off for monsters, we are playing 2 copies of Mare. So this card is actually a card I should probably explain. It's basically a worm, it's a tuner, and it's a level 7 monster. But it cannot be special summoned except by the effect of a worm type monster during your main phase. You can reduce this card's level by 1. If you do, you can special summon pretty much a level 1 token. And you can use this effect 3 times in 1 turn. So basically, if you bring out this card, you have pretty much 4 link materials ready to go. So this is just a really amazing card, and I'm playing it there. But it works so specifically for turn 2. It will be part of the combo video, so do check that out. Moving on to spells, we're still playing 3 copies of Gate, and we are still playing the 1 copy of the Swamp King, playing 2 copies of Called by the Grave, playing 3 copies of Call of the Allure of Darkness. We are playing the Foolish Burial, the 1-for-1, the Monster Reborn, and the Raigeki. So far pretty similar, but we are playing, instead of trade-in now, we are playing 2 copies of Pot of Desires. For this particular build, we can actually afford to get rid of a few cards because not every single card is necessary for particular combos here. So with Pot of Desires added in, it definitely works a little differently than trade-in, but can obviously still generate draw power. Putting in 1 copy of Sacred Sword of 7 stars. Now, like I said, Mare is a level 7, so we do have 1 spare in the deck. I'm playing 2 so that we can add a bit of consistency in hopes to actually get it out. But overall, if we have a spare dead one in the hand, I always keep a Sacred Sword of 7 stars just in case. And even so, there are other level 7 monsters that can also act as dead cards as well. For example, sometimes I go into Meteor Burst Dragon, which is a level 7, and it's just on the extra monster zone, and I can't really get rid of it, so I usually just go for Sacred Sword of 7 stars, get rid of that, and I draw 2 cards as well. But overall, just another way to really deck thin and allow you to get the cards you need. And to end things off, we're still playing the 2 copies of Dark Contract with the Witch. If you want an explanation as to why I play it more, then watch the deck profile that I did the first time. But that's pretty much it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. Alright, so for the extra deck, a lot of big changes here, but we are still playing the 1 copy of Siegfried, still playing the 1 copy of Alexander, still playing Meteor Burst, and like I said, with Sacred Sword of 7 stars, he is still a viable target to actually just get rid of. Crystal Wing, still an important card in the deck. The new addition, we are playing 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yangzing. So this card is the one that actually brings out Mare. So basically, it's a generic level 7, and its effect is it cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect, so definitely really great card there. and you can only use each of these effects once per turn. So he has 2 effects. The first one is you can target a Yangzing monster you control, including himself, and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. Here's where the turn 2 comes into play. It's pretty much where you're relying on the fact that your opponent will have a card on their field, and as a result of that, you'll be using this to destroy himself and one of your opponent's cards. It's a pretty much 1-for-1 trade. However, in the scenario that he's destroyed, so the second effect now, when he's destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, then you can special summon a worm-type monster from your deck in defense position, in which case we bring out Mare, and we could go for a lot of crazy link plays, which is all going to be shown in the combo video. But that's the new addition to the deck, and it's really, really fun. Playing the 1 copy of Beowulf here, and of course the Flame Hiking Genghis. Playing 1 copy of Diark, and of course we're playing 2 copies of the original Genghis. For XCs, we're playing 1 copy of Hope Harbinger, and that's pretty much it there. But for Link monsters, we are still going to be playing Summon Sorceress, we are still going to be playing the Link Karibo. However, with 2 new additions to the deck, we are playing Lanfarincus. So Lanfarincus came out in the Cyverse structure deck, and this was a really good card. It's basically a generic Link 2, so it's much more easy to get into compared to Master King Archfiend or any other card like Wee Witch, but the thing is, with those cards, it's a little bit more restricted. This one allows us more generic options, and although it has only 1200 attack, which is a little weak, it is still a more viable option in this particular build. But to end things off, we're playing Beauregard Dragon. This card is a really amazing card. Perhaps I should explain it because it is part of the combo video. So for Beauregard Dragon, we have 3 effect monsters, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is just a great bonus there. It's a Link 4. Once per turn, you can send 1 card from your spell trap zone to the graveyard, special summon from either your graveyard to your field, a monster that was destroyed and sent there this turn, but its effects are negated. So great way to just pretty much get rid of your dark contracts as well. But of course, I'll explain this and how it synergizes with other cards in the combo video. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target a monster on the field, change it to face-up defense position. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. So definitely a really great card to just prevent your opponent from doing anything, and this is once per turn during either player's turn as well. So definitely great there, but that's basically it for this particular deck profile here. As you can see, a few changes that drastically change how the deck actually works here. So hope you guys actually try this one out. This was something that I actually came up with, and I don't think anyone else has actually incorporated this type of build to DDDs before, but it's definitely been working pretty well for me. So try it out and see if it works for you. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and hope you guys are also looking forward to the future DDD videos as well. I'll see you next time.